Hey everybody, Tanya from Shooting Star SVG back today, and I am going to go over how to use smart objects in Photopea. You can also utilize the same techniques in Photoshop as well, but I figured I would show you a free online program called Photopea to get started. So you can find smart mockups virtually anywhere online now. I personally buy a lot of mine from Creative Market as well as design bundles, and I will drop those links in the video below. As always, please give me a like and subscribe. That motivates me to keep doing these videos for y'all, and we're just going to go ahead and get started. So I have two mockups open right now. I have a wood reverse canvas mockup as well as a t-shirt mockup that I am going to get some designs on. The nice thing about smart mockups is you get that real feel of what the material is in the background, so I really do like to use them. They're a little bit easier to use and more realistic than your typical flat lay mockups, so this is why I prefer them. A little bit more expensive, but in the long run they are worth it to showcase your products because, as we all know, first impressions and photos are really what's going to make your designs pop. So I have this beards are cool, mullets are bad design, and I have this I tried it at home design for the t-shirt. So we're going to start with the sign, and when you open this up, you're going to have your background layer and then your smart object layer. You can tell that it is a smart object based off of this tiny little square right here in the bottom, and all you're going to do is double click that square, and that is going to open up the layer for your smart object. One thing that I always do is I always click on image and image size to see how big that layer is so that I can resize my design to fit it. So you can see the width here is about 3200 pixels. So I'm just going to go back here to this design. I'm going to hit Control-I. That's going to pop up the image size, and I'm just going to drop this down to 3000 and click OK. And that's going to resize my image. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on this background layer and I'm going to click duplicate into. And this is going to pop up here, and you're going to find this layer 1, which is your smart object layer, and you're just going to click on that in the drop down and click OK. Now your design should be superimposed into this background, and you're just going to want to place it in the middle. You can achieve that by using the crosshairs. And then you can hit Control-S, or you can just click on File, Save Smart Object. You'll see this pop up say Smart Object Updated, and then you can go back and click on it, and you can see that your design has been superimposed into the canvas, right? And if you go ahead and zoom in, you can see that right there, okay? And then all you're going to do is rename bathroom sign mockup and click on File, Export as JPEG. You can change your dimensions however you see fit. For this case, I'm going to do 3000 by 2000 and make sure my quality is 100%. And I'm going to go ahead and click on Save. That's going to download the file. You can go ahead and double click that when it is ready, and it will open up for you. I'm just going to go back here and we'll look at that in just a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and close out in this because we're not going to need this anymore. And I'm going to go ahead and close out this smart object. So the next one that we're going to use, this is a mockup from Freeman Studios. Again, your smart object is right here. You double click on that, it is going to open that layer up. You can see that they've placed a thumbprint there to show where their design has been placed on the shirt. Kind of gives you a little bit of guideline. The one nice thing I like about this is you can turn on the t-shirt contour, and it's actually going to show you the outlines of that shirt, okay? And again, you just want to make sure you're looking at your image size so you can see how big the canvas is itself, and then just size your design appropriately. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and double click on this, and this is actually going to open up where the design is. And again, just check out this image size. The width is 851 pixels by 1300 pixels. So we don't want it any bigger than that. Go back to your design. You're going to want to resize that. I'm going to make sure that this is at 1500. Click OK. And again, that height is going to be a little bit too big for the purposes of this. So we're just going to drop it down a little bit more to 1000. And I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this into the logo and then drag it where I want it to go. And I'm just going to turn that off and hit Control S. That's going to save that in there. You can see that it's going to save that right in there. Hide the t-shirt contour, hit Control S. And you can see that it's down there below. Now that's a little bit too low for my taste, so I'm just going to bring this up. Hit Control S again. And you can see when you zoom in, this is on a pretty good space on the shirt, okay? And that's all there is to it. I mean, you can download all sorts of smart object mockups to play around with. I'll go ahead and open up a few more just so you can see what that process looks like. And again, this is what the mockup looks like that we had just downloaded. So give me 1 second and I'll open up a few more. Okay, so I also have this beer glass mockup, which I use on occasion. And again, you're just going to go through the same process. You can see here is your smart object. You're going to double click on that layer and it's going to open up. You see that the width and the height are set. And I have this design here. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that into layer 51. And I'm going to place it probably about right there and see what it looks like. And I'm just going to hit Control S to save that smart object. And then when you look and see the file, now when you look at this file, the quality of this doesn't look phenom. You can see the contours there, which is actually pretty cool, but the further you zoom out, the crappier it looks. So I'm going to go ahead and click Export as JPEG. And we're going to go ahead and open that up so you can see the quality of that file. It looks much nicer when you're looking at the actual zoomed in image preview. And then again, when you open it up, you can see that it is a lot crisper and clearer on the glass. And you can see that it has these nice contours on the bottom that go with the glass. If you were to just lay this over the top, you're not going to get that same effect. And I'm going to go ahead and show you what that will look like by just going to duplicate this into the beer glass like this. Now this is what you would do if you're superimposing this onto the cup, like without the smart mockup. I'm just going to turn this off. So you're going to see that that background that we just saved in there is just a straight up overlay, okay? I'm going to go ahead and export this as well and click Save and go ahead and open this up. And you can see the difference. Okay, so this is beer glass 1, which is the smart object, and this is 2. All right, let me put these next to each other and see if you guys can tell the difference. Okay, see that? So you have your smart object here and you have your non-smart object here. Which one looks better? I'd say the one on the left. You can see here that the contours in the glass are very visible. Okay, so it actually looks like it is on the glass itself. Whereas here, you're not getting that same realistic feel, okay? And it really just depends on where you're placing it, right? And that's the beauty of a smart object. So you have smart object on the left, non-smart object on the right. A lot of people don't tend to do the compare and contrast, and you really can see the difference when you're looking at both next to each other. So hopefully y'all learned something. You learned how to use smart objects today. Again, please feel free to click a like and subscribe below. I would really appreciate it. Y'all keep me motivated to keep doing more of these. If there's something that I haven't done yet that you would like to see, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to make a video about that. And I hope everybody has a great night.